Hey, what's up, guys? JDH80's Custom Buggies. Through the course of my absence, I was looking through the old videos and realized about a week or two ago that I had not done a finish up or a walk around on the 91X. And I know the last video we left off with that was before the race season, and it was a complete rush to get it done. So I never bothered taking any videos of it getting assembled and everything. So I guess we'll just do a walk around video and then we'll call it a wrap on this one. It worked out really well. Everything came together nice. It looks great, and it ended up winning the championship this year. Albeit I had to put 2 substitute drivers in for the last 2 races, but it performed great. So what we'll do is just turn the camera around. We'll do a quick walk around, and I'll point out some new stuff. You guys can see the paint job, the roll cage, the finished roll cage and everything. And I can kind of give you sum it up, give you a summary of the finished product and how it did and what performed well. I did do some experiments on this thing, so we'll I'll point these things out, and because they're now available on the website. Once I could test something and I'm confident that it's going to be worth the money to buy, I put it on the website. So there's a couple of new items. I mean, they've been up there for a little bit, but there's a couple of items that'll be available now that they've been tested on this one. So let's turn this camera around. Sorry. And there's the overall right there. I don't know if you've seen it on Facebook, but if you haven't, basically went with Plum Crazy. I've always been a fan of purple. My old race cars were purple. And I wanted to do, I have a KX 250 that maybe we'll do a walk around on that one of these days that I've restored. It's not quite done yet, but what we did was basically took it down in the frame, and we used Plum Crazy, and it went great with the with the Kawasaki lime green. So I wanted to do something similar to this and match the bike. So we got Plum Crazy, and then we went with green. All 3 of these colors happen to be Mopar colors. I don't know how I end up, like the 52 is a combination of 2 Mopar colors, Plum Crazy and burnt orange, and the green was picked out of the Mopar section of the catalog, and so was the neon yellow. So it was just going to originally be with the green and the purple, and then the reason why, I don't know why I thought it would look good. It ended up looking pretty cool. A lot of people thought it was nuts when I started painting 3 different colors on this stuff and hanging pictures of it on Facebook, but it turned out awesome. So the high vis yellow was to match my gear and my helmet. So what was really cool is my father-in-law did some awesome fade jobs, and kind of, you can see the green spine coming up the cage there, and just fades right into the green, which is pretty awesome. And it really pops in the sunlight. I mean, when the sun hits it, the metallics kind of show and everything, so it's great. So then we just kind of dabbled with some high vis yellow on the steering column, the gusset on the frame, and the number plate. Not much is to say for the front end. Last year I just keep on patching with this. This is something this is basically 10 years old, this buggy, and had Buggy Depot ball joints on it. Where I originally bought it, they weren't tabbed at all. Of course, it didn't take me long to break the tabs off. Just like anything else, you put a stronger ball joint on there, it's gonna rip off some. It's the next weakest point it's gonna give, and the ears on the A-arms would be the thing that gives next. So I tabbed these myself a long time ago in the garage. They're still bulletproof. The spindles are basically stock spindles. I knocked out the spindle bolt and put a 3/4 inch spindle back in the day, and I ended up finding a hub that took that was 4-on-4. I don't know if it was for a golf cart or whatever, but the hub takes like 3/4 inch inner diameter taper trailer bearings. So they've held up pretty good. All in all, something's got to be done with the front end. It's really loose. The bushings and the A-arms are shot. The ball joints do tend to come loose, so I have to spot check them from time to time. I know we were doing practice at Bartow, and sorry about that. And one of the wheels started flopping around and ended up being a ball joint. So it was nothing to fix. I mean, just tighten it up. I noticed when I was hitting some air on some jumps that the one wheel would just kind of flop somewhere, and it just didn't look right. So I pulled off the track, checked for the loose spots or what was going on, and ended up being just the ball joints loosening up. The KX60 shocks. Every year, of course, the springs are a different color. I had a black one and a purple one. We ended up knocking the springs off and painting them to match the buggy finally because it just looked odd. So I do have wheel spacers on the front. Always have, and that basically changes the lug pattern from the 4 on 4 inches to 4 on 110. So I can use ATV tires, but that's something that's always been there, always done. Also widens the front end a bit. Wheels this year. I took off the old wheels, had ITP fronts. I just was going to use them for spares, but I decided to change for 2 reasons. A6 Pros, rumor has it that they're going to stop production of ITP A6 Pros. And so with the COVID, everything's been out of stock. Tires, wheels, this, that, the other thing. It's hard to get stuff. My vendor had some Douglas wheels in the right offset and whatnot. So I grabbed up whatever they had left in stock, decided to try them. When I took them out of the box, realized they're actually lighter. I mean, obviously they're thinner than the A6 Pros, but I decided to give them a try. They held up well. I didn't have any issues with them. They are lighter. The other thing was I was going to go try Maxxis tires all the way around. Well, the fronts were in stock, the rears weren't. So went with the Maxxis Razor 2. Really happy with that. Buggy handled really well. In the rear, we do have a ITP A6 Pro. Last year I did have a wheel spacer. There's another adapter or spacer adapter that actually changed the lug pattern from 4 on 137 to 4 on 110. Did widen the back of the buggy, and the other wheels that I have are 4 on 110. I decided to take the spacers out, and the reason why I did was I wanted to narrow up the rear end to see if it would be more stable. I didn't tip over at all this year, so it's still a tippy buggy. You know, you have to kind of be careful. It doesn't really slide through turns, and you have to kind of be careful with it. But I didn't have any tip over, so that kind of worked out well. Motor, built the motor, did some, I wouldn't say experimental, but I took the head work to another level. I hugged out more than I would normally on a customer's just to see how it would do. The reason why I say more than a customer's is because I wouldn't take the chance of experimenting and doing anything that would jeopardize head coming apart on a customer's. It held up well. I still have a limit to what I'll do to, for someone who's paying money, because I do want some reliability to it. But I didn't have any issues, so that helps me, help me learn that I can, when I do some porting work, that I can actually, I kind of have the limit, which is what's on this buggy now. So I can take the other, when I do a customer's head, I can take it to a step further than I had been. As far as the motor is concerned, SSPG 61mm drop-in kit, Naraku 59mm head. Like I said, it has some head work done. I love the combination. I like the Naraku heads. I think Naraku makes an awesome head, and very happy with it. I've seen other brands. Actually bought some Tata heads flat out because, like I said, because of COVID, it was hard to get stuff in stock. So my plan was I was going to use a Tata head on this. That was advertised as having oversized valves. It was advertised, when I got it out of the box, I kind of looked at the valves and kind of compared the Naraku to the Tata. Got out a stock valve, put it up against the Tata to measure it, and basically it's like they're stock valve sized, and they just round up the numbers. They actually say 23 and 28 on them, but you put a stock valve on it, and they were exactly the same. And actually, the porting on a Naraku, the porting was actually, there's more. The ports are bigger. The intake and exhaust ports are bigger on a Naraku than there was the Tata that I got. So I ended up shelving the Tatas and keeping a Naraku, even though it was my last one in stock, just because I just had more, and the casting work. right out of the factory. It just, I don't know. The Noraki just looked like it was a better quality. I don't know. I'm not disparaging Tata. I know a lot of people use it and like it, but I just wasn't that impressed with what I saw coming out of the box that I got. Exhaust pipe, I did build a new exhaust pipe for this when I built the motor and everything. The other pipe was kind of coming apart. It was pretty old. Let's see, what else is new? Banjing high torque starter. Of course, we got our velocity stack and our trusty Mikuni VM26606. Oh, the two new things. Let me show you this real quick. We did rewire the buggy, by the way. Put everything in this box up here with the key switch. It does have a firepower lithium battery in it. Weighs nothing. Fits right in that box. So basically in that box, the key switch, some wiring, the battery and the solenoid. The rectifier's mounted up front, and then I did try out this, and it is on the website, this Banjing combo coil microchip coil CDI, and it performs awesome. I think we have 3 or 4 converts that switched over to this since they saw mine. So this thing works great. It does have a little sticker shock, but it's kind of like a Dr. Pulley clutch. It just works better than anything else I've tried. The other thing I tried that I never tried before was the oil stick vent tube, and that worked out really good. I tried it with and without the dipstick, with the vent tube and then the dipstick to compare. And yes, the motor just, you could hear it getting more RPM, so that worked out really good. So I mean, that's the overall gist of it. I think it turned out really nice. She's pretty. It was a ratty buggy. You guys seen how much I had to cut out of it, so. But this should give it a couple more years of life, and then I don't know. I do have a frame that I started working on. It might be dark in here. This is a JD's toy box. But we got the 52 over here. That's gonna need some help. I just got to stick it. I gotta make either repair or make a new arm for it. I have to check it out and see where I gotta go. But I did start working. That is a underneath that razor cage, there is a crossfire. Another crossfire that's like the 52 that I narrowed down and started doing some cage work on, and kind of shelved it just because of time and everything. And I mean, that's my goal, is to get that going and retire the Yerf. So let me give you a quick glance over here. There's our BMS 800. There's Lucifer, at least the back end of it. YOC 450. My niece Kayla's buggy. My 900XC. And I have my old TRX 300 that goes in there with the forklift. And the RS one is over there on the trailer because I'm getting ready to go to West Virginia. Test the waters on my ribs. See how my recovery is coming along. But that's it. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Of course, hopefully this is interesting enough that you'll want to subscribe and keep on watching. But that's it for now, and till next time. See you guys later.